whatever you want to do as well. Which violence are you talking about? That you can't be people. Someone who's about 60 years. We saw women being battered. We saw a gentleman being attacked by civilians right before the eyes of Ghana Police Service. It's been almost 2 weeks, and we haven't seen sufficient arrest and prosecution. When the police officer unfortunately assaulted a journalist, right on that same day, action was taken against him. But right before the very police, when civilians attacked fellow civilians, to date, we haven't seen any assertive action being taken. The president has not condemned. We must root out electoral violence out of our democracy. On board. Can I follow us?
Mami Kebi, or you name said, Mami Kebi, not can't be a pie, and yes, it's what 7 years that I want to see. And that yet,
We have to budget we in the minority of parliament, that is the representative members of parliament, are here today to present to you our petition on an urgent matter which we believe that should be the need for all the government for the diplomatic to ensure that the issue of present violence in our elections is one that
hello.
Big man.
We find it very urgent to that the violence that took place at the rerun of our elections is something that and we are also taking note of the outstate of Galamsey in our country. We believe strongly that our country must be absolute and then ensure that we don't want to discover ourselves into destroying our water pollution. It is important that we bring this issue. So we have actually put everything in a state petition to your myself, and we are to be passed on to the rest of the diplomatic sector. Yeah.
It's a pen drive.
Yes.
It's a pen drive that has video of the violence.
We have here with us a pen drive that has a video of the various occurrences for your information and necessary intervention.
I appreciate what you said, but we consider this issue an internal affair. Anyway, I confirm I've received the petition and will share it with all the members of the diplomatic process. Thank you. And good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we are now heading towards the seat of government, Jubilee.
Currently at the outer reception of Petition House, where it's thought that the chief of staff will be receiving the petition from them, subsequently saying
bill, which is an act right now. And the president talks about affirmative action. Professor Nana, Vice President, talks about that. On the leaders of country. But President of country, it's on the one hand, we're pushing for the affirmative action, right? Gender. And then on the other hand, it's like there's a implicit acceptance or condoning how? It's a and Mama can think at how can you condone that? Neither party can condone that. You know, we only part. Who are a moja running through you can't condone that. Either the NDC or anything. The president needs to come out. He should have said something a long time ago. So otherwise, it's like we're condoning it. And I don't see how the president can condone it.
The recently held rerun of 19 police stations birthed a lot of issues. I won't try to unpack them, but a lot of issues that certainly needs our attention of all the variables involved in the political field, particularly government, because a lot of responsibility is on your head. You are in total control of the security of the state. So we are here to present the petition, basically on two important matters. The violence that occurred at the rerun of our North election, and we are upbeat about subsequent elections to be held in our country. We are also worried about Kalamse. And it was one of your messages that you trumpeted with all the promise, rightly or wrongly. Now it's getting out of hand. And our respected Chief of Staff, you are an Easterner. If you are traveling between Enyinim and Nkoko, now the Galamseers are coming on the highway. We are told our water bodies are polluted all over. And even farm products, it's been reported that they've discovered heavy metals in foodstuff from the farm. I think in summary, we are here to present this petition and to appeal for your patriotic intervention in these matters. We have confidence in you. We believe you will act. Now, we hear you have 2/3 majority in Parliament. We heard that. But you also need a minority in Parliament to function. Now, if we don't hear anything, and it is business as usual, it is absolute silence, we are not going to hear anything. This is just the beginning of a series of actions we are going to stage in this country. But we won't do anything out of malice to undermine your governance. But as long as the threat of electoral violence keeps rearing its head, and our authorities seem to be at their wit's end, we'll continue to bring these matters into our attention until it is dealt with. So for and on behalf of the entire Minority Caucus, and by the way, Chief of Staff, our real name is the Mighty Minority. So we present this petition, I present this petition for and on behalf of the entire, respectfully, the entire minority. And we have also attempted, I'm sure the seat of government, you have all the videos of the violence, but we've also, just for the benefit of doubt, recording of footages of the violence that reportedly occurred. We are presenting this to you, through you, to His Excellency the President. We are confident that the dutiful action will be taken as it should. Yeah.
So, thank you very much. So, I received your petition on behalf of the staff. You are testing more.
The guy was behind me.
Thank you.
Come to this building, CDD Ghana, by the director. So on behalf of the co-chair and members of the advisory board of CODIU, I welcome you to this meeting. In fact, we've been expecting you since 12:30, but we understand why you are a little bit late. So without further ado, as tradition demands, we will ask you what brings you here this afternoon. We are waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity for giving us audience for us to present our petition as has been already submitted to the president of the country. But we want you to take cognizance of that, and I'm going to hand over to my chief whip to tell you exactly what is in this petition, and I also request that I'm taking this opportunity to also apologize for being a little late for this, but due to no unforeseen circumstances, we could not be able to meet the time as requested. So I'm going to call on the chief whip, Honorable Another Prayer, to let the witness.
Thank you, members of the board of the CODIU, we greet you and we bring you good greetings from the mighty, or your mighty minority in Parliament. So we gave you heads up on why we intended to come here. We have already been to the presidency. We've also been to the dean of the diplomatic corps. But in the scheme of things, we know how important CODIU is, especially in our Republican Constitution. Your contribution, significant contribution to our democracy is not in doubt. So, on the matter in issue, we find it prudent that whilst we reach out to civil society, no parties who are relevant, we should be here. The summary of our petition borders on two important subject matters. The first one has to do with the creeping violence into our electoral violence into our body politics. And the second one has to be with the Galamsey. We consider the Ablekumanov 19 rerun polling stations. It's not the first time we recorded violence, especially with the 4th Republican Constitution in way. However, we also believe that as a people and as a fledgling democracy, we can't ever be relapsing into the past. We have to get progressive and make meaningful progress in building our democracy. So those who say that, well, it has happened before, it is happening here, it is happening there, it's not a tenable reason. It's not a tenable reason, and we don't accept that at all. We think that we must get progressive and we must move on as a developing democracy. We are also upbeat because elections is part of democracy. Unfortunately, we got one of our members passed on, and per constitutional imperative, we will have to go for the by-election. And what we are picking, the intelligence we are picking, it appears, if measures are not taken, we are going to experience many folds of what happened, the unfortunate occurrence that occurred at Ablekuma North. We have issued statements, we have spoken in Parliament, we are threatened by the loud silence of His Excellency the President. Ever since the matter happened, the Presidency has not issued a formal statement, to the best of our knowledge. The President himself has not even coughed about it. This is threatening, it is worrying. Clearly, it's emboldening those who were engaged in the violence. The perpetrators of the violence are sadly being emboldened. And CDD is a huge player when it comes to democratic tenets, supporting and fomenting our democracy as a country. Codeo, yes, Codeo. And with Galamsey, the evidence is all over. Now, even our highways are risks. Food stuff from farms, heavy metals are being discovered in food stuff from farms. We are reliably informed. The backyard of the president, hometown, Galamsey is being perpetuated with ugly impunity. Ugly impunity. If you look at the SDGs goals, the interrelated function of Galamsey on food security, land conservation, water conservation, we must rise. Because the concern and the substructure concern of food security is important. Because without the land, we can't run. And I said, a Bulgarian country, we are here to appeal to you. You know how persuasive your intervention has been over the years. We have presented a petition to the presidency, and we have brought a copy to you as an important player, hoping that if it is the case that the concern has consistently and repeatedly been coming from the minority, and therefore it is seen as partisan, we wish you take time and go through this petition. And we are expectant and hopeful that you will put in a word. We have taken the trouble to put the footages, the video footage of the violence that occurred at Ablekuma on the pen drive for your perusal. This is a civil approach. We are not resorting to any violent antics. We are coming via a petition. We are confident that you will act in your wisdom to help foment our democracy. It is all we have. We are grateful.
Right. Thank you very much. We will also observe that currently we have a very small number of women in Parliament. So after the presentation, we are going to call one of our women to also speak on this particular issue and to do the presentation.
Can you present it?
This leader and then the minority chief whip. We thank you for your visit to Kodeo. Kodeo, as Ghanaians know it, is a coalition of domestic election observers. And therefore we are a broad-based organization, member organization, covering most of the major bodies in this country in the civil society space. And so coming to us, we are grateful for giving us this. We'll read it and study and act. But as you may know, or as you rightly observed yourself, we are always there to ensure that there's peace and democracy, fairness, equity in our country. We did not officially take part in observing the election, the 19th. But we saw what happened, and Kodeo issued a statement condemning the violence we saw and the inaction of the police, and hoping and praying that one of these days Ghana will come to the point where we've been lauded for having good elections, but we think we should come to a point where it becomes a strictly civil society activity. You go to some countries, nobody calls the police, nobody calls the army. Sometimes it's just a normal thing that people go and vote and go back home. So if we keep lauding ourselves that we are the epitome of democracy and this is what we see, definitely we as Kodeo are not happy about it. And we'll keep challenging ourselves and encouraging all Ghanaians that let's come to the point where we are not rubbing shoulders with where somebody does more violence than the other, but that there's peace, justice, equity, and fairness, because that's what we want our country to develop. And no country develops by maiming its citizens and being afraid of a normal civil society thing. So we have received your petition, we'll look at it. You touch on the issue of Galamsey, which is of concern to all of us because we are all at risk. We are not here to say much, but just to say we have received it. We are also Ghanaians, we see what is going around. But having received your document, we will study it and see how we can all work for a better country that we desire. Thank you very much for coming. And we as Kodeo, thank you and wish that Ghana will be a better country that we all see. The glory of Ghana for our future and our future generations. Thank you very much.
Critically having a look at petitions as presented, and we believe that with your involvement, there's definitely going to be an opportunity to see a real turn of events for the positive growth of our democracy. Thank you very much. I would have loved ladies to also have a word, but I think you've rounded up everything. And we'd like to ask you and thank you for your presence. Thank you.
Please, let them know that nobody should tell you. I never heard it. You never heard it. You never heard it.
Well, I'm asking you. Now, whether the question is, have you looked at the content of the petition? Have you looked at it? Have you looked at it? So take a look at the petition, then you can ask me that question. What is the spotlight? There are critical issues confronting this country, and you are talking about spotlight. Galamsey is destroying, everybody's at risk.
And there is a real violence of electoral violence which is taking the center stage of our body politics. And you're talking about shine. There's nothing like shine. There are real issues that should be dealt with. And that's what we are doing. I'm not choosing which one is important. No. We have a matter that we believe concerns the good people of this country. And we have raised it duly. As to whether it is more important than the media, it's the good people of this country who will draw that judgment.
How would you be preparing for violence?
No, I'm not talking about that.
The region and the constituency of the president, including the headquarters of Western, which is Escado, I believe that there's something serious going wrong in our country. And we need to let the government, they cannot be spending money for the wrong reasons. They need to be spent to curb these two situations we're talking about. Because now we are going to Abuja. If you are not careful, are we going to kill ourselves in Abuja just because of an election? No, I don't think so. So it's very important that we ring the alarm bells so that the presidency, the ministers, and the government in particular take decisive action that will make sure that the elections are smooth, peaceful, and fair, so that the right winner will come to parliament to represent this people.